Hello everyone. Hello Sanya, how are you?
Hello, Tara. I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Pretty good. Excited to do a little bit of talk with you about recent events in Italy, considering Giza plateau. So for beginning, if you could tell us a bit about yourself.
Sure, Tara. That will be a short introductory for the people that don't know me. My name is Sanya Korlaet, born in Croatia, land of Tesla, Nikola Tesla. It's very in at the moment, so I'm proud to say that. I am archaeologist with scientific background in biotechnology. I'm also a independent researcher, and sometimes I'm even a tour guide. And I have been involved in researching the pyramids for a long time. Actually, I'm pretty much obsessed with pyramids, as everyone that knows me knows that. You're laughing. Since the day I've seen them, basically, that was back in 1987 when I came for the first time to the plateau and walked that day, and something over there stirred my deep memory, my soul memory. So at the end of the day, I was pretty much in tears because I had to leave the place, which was again very strange to me as well. As you know, as everyone could ask a question. One day, I was just there for a day, and I'm crying. I'm crying because I'm thinking I'll never come back. I had a feeling that I would never come back, and that my life wouldn't have a purpose if I don't come back to this place. That was a start. Of course, I came back many times to the same place. And I started researching. The place prompted me to enroll into archaeology in Melbourne's uni. So my course is because of this, so that I can understand this place better, the pyramids better. But that was just a start, because the mainstream archaeology doesn't know much about pyramids. And so you have to go into alternative research to understand better why there are pyramids all over the world, not just in Egypt, which was news to me too. So that was a start. Would you like to know more?
Absolutely through our, through our talk. Absolutely. I would like to add, like the way you started, for me, there was no logical explanation why I would be attracted to pyramids. Like, except towards the end of 90s, I started to research, spirituality and, stuff. And then Bosnian pyramid story came out. And very beginning, when Dr. Sam Osmanagic first announced the news, I thought he is telling the truth. And then I went to see also, Egypt pyramids, and did a little bit of travel, Jordan, Israel back then, and Sinai, and Aswan, and there was so much memory popping up. Like there were places in Aswan, I would go to temple. I saw this place before in my vision, and I just knew where the things were. Where is the pool? Where is this? Where is that? It was just very familiar. It was like I returned in time, and I returned in some ways home. And then in 2007, I went, as I said, to see Bosnian pyramids, and my ancestors, like Cleora Croatian, Maya Bosnian. And then we moved to Australia, and I just stayed with this story to this day. And I like that you are talking about past lives. For me, at this point, it's so important in discovery of all of this, it's not just archaeology. And it's not just multidisciplinary from science branches that we know, but it's also multi-dimensional thing. And I think this is where we kind of find each other. Beside that was really coincidence how we find each other in Australia, like same DNA, the way we clicked. I think there is story behind it all. We are on a mission, and everything in past few years in my life is brought me to this moment. So I'm really happy to know you and that we can share your insight, your you can see things from both sides. You can see from official archaeology and story, and you can see sites as an independent researcher. So first, I would like to ask, is there any another reason you think you're so attracted, like so many of us, to pyramids and to true history? What would that be?
Right, Tara. That was a very personal question, but okay, you asked for it. Just a quick one. As I said, after the initial awakening of the soul memory, I had to dig deeper, and some of the memories have resurfaced of the past life there, my past life there. So there were a couple of ways. I had to do a regression therapy for that. And sometimes I could just feel in meditation, there were downloads of information. And also last time I was at Karnak Temple, and next to the statue of Sekhmet, which is very famous. Everybody's seeing this statue for some reason, and now I know why. The guard there, as soon as they've seen me, they let me in right next to the statue, and he closed off everything so I can be, I didn't ask, he just done all of this for me. Closed off everything, and I touched the statue and stayed with the statue for a while and received the download. I did not expect any of this. So anyway, the download consisted of pretty much I'm seeing probably my own hand. I'm seeing through my own eyes, my own hand pulling somebody's necklace and even a dagger in my hand. So what have I done to this person? I don't know. But this didn't look good, right? And I kind of pulled out of this whole download and scared myself, because yes, I was a priestess. It seems I was a priestess at that time, and I was doing dirty work for somebody else. And I got out of the whole chapel where the statue was standing, and I sat down and I had my hands on my head and started crying because of what I've seen and what I'm just comprehending, that who I was, what was I doing in this past life, and just started crying and sat there for a while. And then the guard comes back. He sits in front of me, touches my hand, touches my head, and he goes like, the question in his eyes, and with the question in his eyes, and he says, Sekhmet? I said, yes, Sekhmet. And I kept crying. He started crying with me. He started crying and crying and crying. Then he started bowing in front of me. He was bowing in front of me. He started kissing my feet. And I am like, I don't know what's going on anymore. I'm all confused. And in that moment, I recognized this person as well. I recognize him as my student of my past life. And I told him, do not worry, stop crying, everything is fine, I'm back. He removed himself from there. I took some more time to get back to normal and got up and walked away. So that was amazing. That was amazing because maybe few months before that, another person, also Egyptian, that was able to see auras, told me, you were the priest or priestess, I'm not sure if what he said, that lived in that lived in Luxor at the time, and you were serving as a priestess of Isis and Sekhmet in Karnak and Dendera. And when I went to Dendera as well, I could recognize some of the the narrow openings which they had to put instead of windows. I kept seeing this in my nightmares for years. So I could recognize these things when I was in Dendera, but I didn't see more than that. I was just, I saw these things, and I remember in my nightmares, I was trying to get out of it, somehow trying to get out of this confined place that had these narrow windows. So anyway, the whole thing, there's things that have happened, the things that I have received in different states started to make sense. And I know I have very deep connection to this place, and I cannot ignore it. So that's my story, Tara.
Thank you so much. Beautiful, personal, and just confirmation for me. I had similar experiences when I went to travel by myself, like backpack countries I mentioned before. It was just 21 days of pure magic. The start that happened with animals, with people, I know my closest friends, I know them for years. We are doing this together for 20 plus years. They have similar experience. My really close friend, who recently she organized dolphin swimming in Red Sea. Beautiful singer. She also feels she was a priestess once upon a time. She, very young, she and her boyfriend went to Egypt. And they were money short, as young people are, low budget. There is a guy stopping in the middle of the road, stepping out of the car, giving them money so they could make it comfortable. And I think they really went to see other places. And he didn't want nothing for exchange. None. He just gave them that and left. There was no dirty games there, nothing.
Incredible.
Yes. So, and same my partner, he went to Cairo when there was the biggest, I think, Ramadan. There was like 40 million people or something. And he really likes it quiet and peace, just like me. There was 40 million people on the streets. You know how busy Cairo is. And this is just multiplying 100 times, million times. And he just felt really well. And he said whenever he's in Cairo, not even just close to that place, he just feels really well naturally. And I think what's happening at this point, after 20 plus years of research, also how you and me came together, this is net of people, the chain of people. We are coming together. And as you said beautifully the other day, we are here to help those guys in Italy, to support them, to come out with new information, with this research, in a way to protect them and just spread the story. So this is what we are doing. It's really, I think we both feel it's heartfelt mission.
Yes, it is, for sure.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
I will stop talking, but one story. So I never play those Facebook, there are those little Facebook games, like what you be past lives, this, that, like all kind of things. And 2 days before we met, there was a game in a year that you were born, add 10 years, and the year you got, the film that was most successful at that year, this is your life in 2025. That was somewhere January, I think, beginning of 225. What I got is Indiana Jones,
Yes.
the arc of something. I don't know even, because I'm not my
Covenant.
Two
Yes.
days later, you came to my life, and I was in the middle of organizing Dr. Sam Osmanagic for Bosnian Pyramids tour. Months and a half later, we met. There is that big Greek festival, and you and Dr. Sam and one another friend from Melbourne. There was a Saturday afternoon, that big Greek festival, and we are sitting having lunch together. And everything that followed, and then with Stephen and Divan and your daughter Leah coming in, it's real. There is a story behind it all. It's meant to be. Here we are doing what we need to do. And we are not perfect in it, but we are doing it. But now that's enough of my talking. I just had to put out what's in my heart.
Sure.
Now, on 28th of, I was not aware of those Italian guys, but on 28th of February, we just finished with Dr. Sam tour in Australia. And you sent me the message, which I saw later because we went to bush retreat in Northern Rivers. You sent me a message with link to conference in Italy, and you asked me to share it with Sam. Unfortunately, I didn't, because I did not see it. And then when I saw what really your link was all about, I was just like, this girl knows. So tell me now, what's your history? How you find out this before us all? What's your history with the guys in Italy? What's the story?
Right. So I didn't know, maybe a month before the event. Yes, I have received, well, I've been in contact with alternative researchers on Facebook or any other way that I am interested what people are learning about Giza Plateau and pyramids all over the world. But Trevor Grassi is the guy that has actually broke the story first, and he started putting information about the Khafre project, Italian guys, what they are doing, and that they have discovered something huge, and that they will have a conference on 15th and 16th of March. So, okay, I saw that. I wanted to be present at the conference. Of course, I couldn't be present on personally because it's in Italy, in Bologna, right? So that was on 16th of March. But on the 15th of March, they had online conference for the press. And I sent a request to be there. And I told them, I'm an archaeologist with scientific background. That's all. I didn't say I was present. They let me in. I was actually present. So my Italian is limited, I have to say. I could understand a little bit, not much. I did ask a question at the end, and it was something to do with, okay, this is incredible find, and it should be along these lines, it should be accepted straight away because you are using a brand new technology. However, I am sure, I said, that mainstream archaeology will ignore you. The question is just for how long? So I think they have answered that, and I could not pick much except I think Corrado said, oh, they think they know everything, but they know nothing. And the mainstream history is just a story along those lines anyway. And yes, well, they are proving it correct, that they're proving it, that we don't really know what prehistory is. But and we couldn't know, we didn't have the technology, but now we do, and we are starting to see what's below the ground, what's below the sea surface as well. Our prehistory lies under the water and under the under the ground. So it's only the beginning. Their technology is probably not accepted yet, but it will be accepted. They have applied for international patent on what they have on this new SAR technique, tomography, Doppler technique. And so once that's accepted, it has to be accepted. This is technology. They didn't come up with it. They didn't come up with pictures. They are the technology. They use the computer. They use the specialized software that tells them what's been found underneath.
Correct. And the technology was used before, as Dr. Sam told us. It
Oh,
was
yes.
used in Bosnian pyramids. And they found a year and a half ago, I think. And what they found is another pyramid that Sam was not aware of. And also they find the 8th tunnel.
Yes, I've heard of that. And I think Sam has done a video on this story and mentioned that looking at that, what they have found, they themselves have found this extra tunnel, but the pyramid is positioned on somebody's private land.
Correct.
And they cannot access it at this stage.
Yes.
So yes, there's a validation.
Beautiful. So you prepared us a little presentation.
A little presentation, yes.
The findings your way. So what we're going to do, we're going to share the screen.
Okay, Tara. So I've given the title of this short presentation, The Giza Plateau Ancient Machine, because the whole thing reminds me of some sort of machine. So I already said a few things about myself. So I'm going to go to the next slide. Yes, I am an independent researcher. Yes, I'm an archaeologist and sometimes a tour guide and obsessed with pyramids. As you can tell, I came back to this place a few times. Here, it's me standing in front of the Menkaures pyramid. At that time, it was closed. I could not enter, unfortunately, but I checked the massive granite stones that are looking unfinished. And yes, they are unfinished for some reason. Then you see me on the right-hand side in one of the passages that are taking you to the belly of one of the pyramids. I'm not sure which one. They all look the same. On the left-hand side, you see the corner of the Great Pyramid, and you see one of the Tura limestones, still standing in situ, still perfectly cut, perfectly positioned in perfect horizontal position. I think I can use, here we go, I can use the little highlighter. So you can see when you get to the plateau and you put one of the gadgets that tells you if something is horizontal or not, you will see it showing perfectly horizontal. Okay, next slide. So let's delve into this amazing discovery this trio have done. So they call themselves Khafre project, but the Khafre project consists of three amazing researchers. On the left-hand side, you see Corrado Malanga. He is a chemist and independent researcher, professor with PhD. Armando May on the right-hand side, he is a Egyptologist and historian, and Filippo Biondi, he's an engineer. He's a specialist in radar technology, obviously SAR technology, and he is the one that came up with his own software they had to use to do the magic. So let's get into the technology they have came up with. So they used synthetic aperture radar, or SAR, shortly, Doppler tomography technique. Let's break this title down so that maybe we can understand a little bit. I'm still trying to understand the whole thing. But anyway, synthetic aperture radar, as opposed to ordinary real radar, is using, let's start from a real aperture radar. It's the radar that's sitting up on a satellite and taking images as it's sending electromagnetic waves. They are coming back as echo, and the radar is picking this up and coming up with a really bad resolution image. That was a problem all the time. So somebody smart, I can't remember his name, came up with an idea. All right, let's just use the motion of this radar antenna that's sitting on satellite and satellite's path to synthesize the effect of a long antenna, because if you have a long antenna, you're going to have better resolution image. And that's what they've done, basically. That's all there is. So I'm not going to go much deeper into it, but it's not that difficult. Tomography means a slice and a picture. So if you have, it's a 2D picture. Everybody knows about CT scanning. That's how CT scanning is working. You have a 2D picture, and then if you put many 2D pictures together, you have one 3D picture. And Doppler, I think everybody knows what Doppler effect is, because you have heard sitting in a car, if the other car is approaching to you, and then you can hear it with a higher pitch as it's leaving, as it's coming away from you. It's got deeper pitch. So the Doppler effect is the frequency change as the object is moving towards the observer. So it's pressing down and then extending as the object is moving away from the observer. So they used all of this in their magic, in their new system, in new technology. And also, as I said, Filippo had to develop an extra computer software to do the whole thing. And this all converts photonic or radar information into phononic or sound signal. This is what they have explained. This allows exploration of the structures below ground, because sound passes through the matter. It passes through granite at 4,000 meters per second. It passes through water at 1,400 meters per second. It passes through air at 340 meters per second. Basically, they said to us, granite is almost like a glass, invisible. Mm-hmm. And when Corrado said, tutto si muove, everything moves, he was thinking of Khafre's pyramid. Even Khafre's pyramid is moving. So
I like
this
that.
imaging.
There's a deeper story that has to do, sorry to interrupt, with Sufis, with Rumi, the poem of atoms. Everything moves.
Everything moves, yes.
And if you do a bit of research, exploration, work on yourself with body. I used to do lots of conscious dance as a token. Say, it's like meditative movement. You see, there is a still point that is watching, but everything is moving at all times. And that story for some other time, but that has everything to do with pyramids. Also with Tesla, he's rotating energetic fields and his spirals, and yes. So, but yeah, story for some other time, but just to confirm from my point of view. Thank you.
No problem. So this imaging method is based on the analysis of micro movements or vibrations of a particular target, in this case, Giza and Khafre's pyramid, which is, these vibrations are caused by human activity in the city of Cairo, which is right next to it, a wind and seismic activity in the ground. So the sent electromagnetic signal by the satellite radar partially returns. This is what he said, partially returns. The other part is transformed into the sound and reflects back from whatever it has encountered under the surface. If the underground chambers vibrate, and they do, this will be picked up by the SAR system at sub-millimeter level. So they can They can see the little movements, even sub-millimeter. As vibration is a sound, we have a sound. So he calls it a sound photography, this new method. So let's see what they found inside the Khafre's pyramid, first of all, and the internal structures. There's a lot that we didn't know existed at all. So I'm just going to grab my highlighter. Oh, where did it go? Here we go. There is the highlighter. There are 5 JID, he calls them Z structures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are actually granite sandwich structures. That's how I call them, or relieving chambers. That's what the mainstream calls them, above King's Chamber of the Great Pyramid. Next slide will show you exactly what I'm talking about. But these structures exist already. We know in the other pyramid. One of them is there. What else has been found? 2 large chambers, previously unknown, connected by corridor. Here we go. Another chamber, all along the western side. A tuning fork structure all along the western side. There it is. He calls it tuning structure. Tuning. It looks like tuning fork, but we don't know what it is. Just a tunnel, right, with the extra tunnels. And then he found a water plane level at 35 meters. That's why we see a bit of water. He didn't say if the water is coming deep down or not, so I don't know. But underneath the plateau, he has found 8 cylinders. Here we go, positioned in 2 parallel rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Positioned in a north-south direction and descending down to 648 meters. And it seems they have a spiral coil, could be a stairway, we don't know, entering 2 large chambers, which I will show on the next slide. These 2 chambers have quite large, they are of 80 by 80 meters each. And these long tubes actually keep going. They keep going down to another 600 meters below, to a depth of 1.2 kilometers, which is absolutely amazing. Okay, next slide. In next slide, I'm just showing you how these JID or Z structures, as Corrado is calling them, which are similar to the structure above King's Chamber within Khufu's pyramid. So in this gray looking picture, you see what's known at the minute in Khufu's pyramid. This is called King's Chamber. So the chamber itself is just this part here, and the coffin is there. Well, coffin, sarcophagus, whatever it is, the box, granite box. And above this, you see this sandwich, I call it, of granite and air in between. The whole structure reminds me of so-called JID, and you can see it here, which is a pre-dynastic amulet, as amulet here and as hieroglyph in here. As amulet, it was used for protection. As a hieroglyph, it means stability according to accepted translation. So on the right-hand side, you see those structures through SAR tomography. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, but there's a 5th one as well. Okay. Next slide. So why has news caused such a sensation around the world? Well, each vertical well reminds us of Tesla coils. Where's the Tesla coil on the right-hand side? This is so-called Tesla coil. And Nikola Tesla. And this is what's been found underneath the Khafre's pyramid. So the whole thing reminds of electrical resonant transformer. Next slide. everybody is asking, oh, is this true? We want to know if this is true. Once we know it's true, it's going to be amazing and we're all going to be happy. What validation? They all want a validation of this new technique, but validation has already happened because the team has found structures in the Great Pyramid in 2000. Actually, they started around 2000, but their article came out in 2002 in Journal of Remote Sensing. That's called Asynthetic Aperture Radar Doppler Tomography reveals details of undiscovered high-resolution internal structure of the Great Pyramid of Giza. So they have found many new chambers we didn't know about, but most importantly, they found a large chamber of 23.5 by 9.5 meters here, that green thing here, extending corridor of 72 meters above the ground gallery. And also an entrance chamber behind the two granite chevrons of 15 by 6.7 meters at the same level as the Queen's Chamber floor. So why are these two important? Because we know in 2017, Japanese team led by Morishima have done some cosmic rays scanning or muons, and they have found a large oval-shaped void. Here it is, above ground gallery. They were not sure if it's parallel to the ground gallery or if it's horizontal. And they also found a horizontal corridor at the north face entrance, which is this entrance here behind these chevrons. Here it is. They have found it. It's just there, and almost at the same level as the Queen's Chamber floor. So, okay, we have validation. Two same new, previously unknown chambers have been found by two different scientific techniques. Next one, validation. The guys have done validation by themselves as well, using a knot structure under the plateau, which is Osiris Shaft near the Khafre causeway. So you enter this shaft from the surface, so it's right near the causeway. So you have to enter from the surface somewhere here, and it goes down to the 35 meters. So we thought goes to the 35 meters, not really. So what did the guys find? You see behind this known picture, what's known, you see the tomography picture, SAR tomography picture. And what they have found, okay, here we go. We know this is the known first level, which is an empty chamber. You see it here. So entrance, first level, empty chamber. Next well, that goes down to the next levels, level 2, which comprises of 6 rooms containing 2 sarcophagi. By the way, one of the rooms have a hard granite sarcophagus type that's not found in Egypt, so nobody can explain this. So you go the next well down and you get to the next level, which is the 3rd level, that contains the pool of water. And in the middle of it is a sarcophagus, so it's submerged and it's been found empty, we have been told. So that's this level here. But as you can tell, there's another well, there's another level, there's another well, there's another level, there's another well. How many more? 1, 2, 3, 4. There's another, what is this? Empty chamber? I don't know. They are not sure. They say it could be a chamber. Another sarcophagus as well, somewhere there. And lots of large chambers down there. So that's new. So this is this first part here is confirmation of here. This part is confirmation of what's known. And this is what else is what's been found? What else is underneath? That was unknown until this moment. When they had a larger look at the larger picture, from above, they have found many unknown vertical and rectangular structures under the plateau. So there's lots of vertical rectangular structures that go even deeper, even at 2 kilometers. That's why they are not sure what they are looking at, and they call it a city. And of course, this is going to be our next focus of their research, because they want to know what's lying underneath. And so more exciting information and insight is coming. And also, they have said there are many shafts on the plateau that go deep to 1.2 kilometers. I'm going to the next slide, which I will show you their tomography here. So if I'll just put our pictures down there. If I go here, this is Khafre's middle pyramid, and this is Khafre's Sphinx Valley, Khafre's Valley. Hold on, lost it. Here we go. He has shown here, this is their tomography up here. He has shown the depth at which particular shafts are going. So if we see here, there's an arrow pointing to the Osiris shaft, which we just we were talking about Osiris shaft, and we have a look at the tomography. We see how really it goes a lot deeper. As they say, it goes down to the 1.2 kilometers deep. Okay, back to the picture. If we see, they have shown many other shafts, and I've seen them at the plateau, and I am showing you here one of the amazing shafts that I've seen at the plateau. Very, very going very much straight down, perfectly done, cut into the plateau. What does this remind you of? It reminds me of a lift cavity, right? You would put a machine there and lift box right here, right? And so, of course, if this goes down to 1.2 kilometers, but they needed a lift. They're not going to go down the stairs and up and going up to the surface at 1.2 kilometers. Of course, they're going to need a lift. So that's one of either this one or that one. I can't remember which location is this particular shaft is. But yes, there are a few of those at the plateau. And here is the shaft, one of the shafts that go under the Khafre's pyramid, which we know there's 8 of them, right? So yes, this is quite interesting. And guys, if you want to see these things, of course, and the other structures, pyramids, temples, tombs, lots of stuff, you can come with us, possibly next March or December in 2026, as Tara is planning. You can go to my Ancient Enigma Tours site, aetours.net, have a look what we offer. As I said, we're probably going to leave this for December, and you can ask questions, send me an email. Happy to answer. Let's just laugh at this guy. Havas did not approve of this history-shaking discovery. Of course not. Of course, nobody asked him. We don't have to ask him. What did he say? They did not find anything. They are amateurs. This was not approved by the Ministry of Antiquities. Okay, I would say he's an amateur.
The Ministry of Truth.
The Ministry of Truth. Yes. Well, he has been a major obstructionist of the real scientific research of this area of the Giza Plateau. Particularly, he doesn't allow any alternative research. When I say alternative, I mean not archaeological and historical research, but engineers, different scientists, because as Christopher Dunn said, Christopher Dunn has done lots of work on out-of-place artifacts so-called out-of-place artifacts in Egypt, showing that they have all signs of ancient machining, and they could have not been done by just scratching, with sand or picking with copper tools and chisels. That's not possible. That's just not possible. That story is finished. Yeah. What was I saying? Yeah, the real research, like this place has not been done by pyramids, have not been done by archaeologists and historians. They have been done by engineers, mathematicians, construction engineers. So we need all these engineering people to come and have a look and recognize the tools of their trade. So obviously, Dr. Malanga and his team have kicked the hornet's nest. And the new SAR technology is only at the beginning and will improve with time for sure. The team has applied for the international patent, I already mentioned that, of their newly developed SAR underground and undersea technology. So that's pending. I think I already mentioned what's been, maybe I haven't, the sediment, the research back in 2019 by another scientific team who had looked at the sediment cores from White Pond in South Carolina, have revealed that a massive cosmic impact around 12,800 years ago may have caused the extinction of numerous animals on Earth, of course, and also a catastrophic reset in developing ancient civilizations of the time. What does this remind you, Tara? What does this remind you of? Did somebody say Atlantis?
Yes, absolutely. That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
Another point in history, reference point we maybe met before, not just us, many of us, the Atlantis and Lemuria, of course, and
yes,
ancient civilizations. I think we just somehow we fall into, or I don't know if our memory maybe was wiped off. But I think in our souls we still have our soul memory or soul DNA.
For sure.
Maybe it's us that we are looking for.
Returning
maybe, yes,
to the beginnings.
Now. And maybe we did it.
But that's for sure some sort of scar, of the not very nice memory of how this on our souls, on how the whole civilization fell down. And I think Leah, my daughter, tells the story the best. She remembers this last day and last minutes of Atlantia when everything goes under the ground. So yes, there is a huge, there's a painful memory. There's a painful soul memory, and maybe because of that, we are coming back to this story to tell it again in this time and age, because we are so close. We are so close to a third world war that it's not funny. It's not funny, and we are so close of disappearing again.
Yeah.
So the resting place for a pharaoh, the pyramid, as a resting place for a pharaoh, I think this theory has just died. It's buried under the pyramids. Rest in peace. So what they could be, what these things could be, some sort of ancient Atlantean technology. Let's just have a quick look at what granite does. Mm-hmm. Granite and limestone are known for a piezoelectric effect because they have particular crystals, quartz crystals, which when they are under the stress, under mechanical stress, they start to produce electric field. When they start to produce electric field, then a magnetic field appears as well. So the Great Pyramid is also known to produce a constant electromagnetic signal around this 7.8 hertz. I couldn't find the reference for some reason, but I read it a long time ago. It just never, this signal never stops. The pyramid is focusing the electric and magnetic field within its chambers and below the monument. That was the findings of physicians of Physical Institute back in 2018, I think. This is what they found, and the pictures they have found and put their pictures of what they found. So here is a picture of electric field and what the pyramid does to electric field when they apply 200 meters waves, the length lambda equals to 200 meters. And this is what the magnetic field looks like when they apply the same length, external length though, the external electromagnetic field, right? And it shows how the pyramid, what the pyramid does to the magnetic field. And here on the right hand side, let me just move this again. On the right hand side, we see that this energy is actually focused in the chambers. This is the underground chamber. This is the king's chamber. This is the queen's chamber. They're focusing energy too. And in the background here, you see the wonderful rendering of my daughter Leah, of the pyramids at the time and when they were really functioning, as she said. And they were a sight to see, as you can tell. This is I think she said this was a great pyramid. With the pyramidion, it could be the gold pyramidion or electrum pyramidion. I'm not sure, but anyway, she said you could see at night, you could see the electrified air around them. Oh. And especially above the peak, you could see the vortex. You could see the vortex going up.
Something like northern lights, maybe, right?
Sorry?
Something like northern lights?
No, I think she said it was a spiral.
Yes,
spiral going up.
So, like, it would appear as a plasma. That's my point. Plasma, spiral light, something.
Okay, it could look like that. Anyway, so what are we looking at? The underground structure may be earth energy harvesting and amplifying machine, the Earth's resonance amplifier. It may be a water purification system for the ancient city at the time. All of the above and much more. I am sure there's much more, and we will find out much more. These are my references. I am going to leave you with this, except just one more thing. I'm sure the mainstream archaeology and Egyptology will keep ignoring this as much as they can. We'll see for how long this goes. But this technology is here to stay.
Beautiful. I was thinking the other day, imagine having an app on your phone, and we are traveling Australia a lot, and we go often to Bosnian pyramids and stuff like that. Imagine having an app on your phone, like we spend time on sacred sites of Australia, most beautiful places, and you can tell there is something about them. And imagine having an app on your phone and you could just check for yourself what's underground. Like, especially national parks, they are not allowed, as we are obviously not allowed to dig or do anything. It would be really interesting to see. So, yeah, beautiful. Technology can be used for good causes. So
for good causes, finally.
Yes. So thank you very, very much.
You're welcome,
understand much more now.
Lovely. I've done a good job, I think.
Yes. Yes. My brain is not that much of a logic of a science. When I started this, I almost instinctively followed the story. I'm not into physics. But I have other senses, I think, more developed. It's just that feeling that something attracts me towards it. So yeah, this is really helpful for me to understand also from physicality of things, how it all works. So thank you very much. We will put this one out there and see the response, and then I would be happy to talk with you again, and maybe next time we can explain a little bit about your Peru experiences.
Oh,
When we
that's
met,
a story. That's another long story.
and our Slavic Balkans DNA starts to resonate together. First couple of days after our meeting, we spent like 5 hours on the phone.
Oh, we did.
Like
That was
proper
fun.
lady, Balkan lady elders, we just chat and chat and chat and chat. There was no end to it because we had so much to share. And one of the stuff that I was really fascinating with is your story in Peru, which again, I think it's part of a bigger story that it has to do with landlines, with those sacred sites, with pyramids, what they for, but in a essence of all of this, I think it's for us to remember who we are, that we are not little slaves caught in system, paying the bills, living, the way majority people live, but that we are beautiful beings with imagination, with capacity to create, with capacity to think, to feel, to bring together beautiful stuff. And that we all have embedded that soul memory of our real origin. And that's why I'm passionate about this. So thank you again very much.
You're most
Your explanation
welcome.
brings us closer to understanding and to us. If there is anything else you would like to add.
No, I guess we're gonna make more of these videos and share with the world. And there's much more to come. These guys are going to keep working. Armando's team is going to keep working, and I'm sure we're going to hear from them much more in the future.
Also, one of the researchers we mentioning before, Dr. Semir Osmanagic. First, when I saw this, my mind just went to Bosnia, and my brain was on fire for a few days because I'm following Bosnian story for a really long time. Has listened a lot of stuff and spent 7 days with him on tour in Australia every single night, listening same lecture. It's just my brain just went, obviously there are coils, there are spirals, and there is that scalar wave, well researched, coming out of Bosnian Pyramid of Sun. And just everything, water, and everything just came together for me.
Yes.
It's like they find technology which produces what they measured at Bosnian pyramids.
That's right. He has
a story.
He has a good scientific team that came there, independent scientists, engineers, right, that came with their measuring equipment. And what they measured is the Bosnian Pyramid of Sun emits the constant signal of 280 kilohertz.
Correct.
Sorry,
no, 28.
28 kilohertz. Yes. 28 yes. Kilohertz. Yes. And the thing is, it goes through the apex, and then the signal is amplifying. Actually, instead of disappearing, it's amplifying. It doesn't make much sense, but this is what the pyramid does, and this is what their instruments have shown. So you cannot say, oh, it's not real. Well, it is real because you're looking at instruments that are reading this. They are reading this beam that goes, out of the peak, out of the summit.
Yeah.
So that's the real research. You want to know what the pyramids are, really. And they were never tombs. As I said, that's finished. This theory died. Rest in peace. The pleasure was all mine.
Yeah. See you later, alligator. So even the name, to finish with that, even the name, pyramid, Pyrrha in ancient Greek means fire.
It does.
Even in a Slavic language, we still have we would use like pyroman means someone who burns fires. Yeah, right? So pyra means fire, mid means it's from Latin word and it means middle, obviously. In English, middle. So pyramid. Fire
in the middle.
What's fire in the middle? Color wave, 28 kilohertz, in my opinion, that's what it is. Or some call it Tesla wave, and here we are, same story. It's so obvious at this point. So yeah, we keep going. This is exciting. And I'm so glad this is going right direction in service to humanity and to Earth and life itself, to return back again into the real, how the world should be. And it will be again. It was and it will be again. And here we are. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Tara. The pleasure was all mine.
Expertise and really clear presentation. And talk to you soon and have a lovely rest of your day.
You too. Bye-bye. See ya.
Bye. Thank you.
Until the next time.
See ya.